It's considered poor etiquette not to tip service providers, and going to the salon is no different. We recommend always leaving 10 to 20%. Exactly how much you leave depends on many factors. Ready to have all your salon tip etiquette questions answered? Keep watching. Standard beauty gratuity. The standard tip for beauty services is at least 20% of your final bill. That means if your total for a cut, color, and styling is $300, you should tip at least $60 to the hairdresser. But there are exceptions to this rule. We're breaking down those exceptions below, so keep reading. Color. A 20% tip is a great rule of thumb when tipping for hair color. But if your hair color takes a significant amount of time, consider tipping more for the hairdresser's time. For example, going fully blonde with darker hair takes a lot more time than dyeing hair darker. If you're getting highlights or a full dye job, you may want to tip more. 22% to 25% should be appropriate in this case. Of course, you should also increase your 20% tip if you're a difficult client. How to tip. Unless your haircut takes a significant amount of time, a 20% tip should suffice. You could also up your tip if the salon goes above and beyond, making you extremely pleased with the final result. Some people tip the salon owner on top of what they give to their hairdresser and any assistants. If the salon owner cuts your hair, it's standard to give him or her no more than a 20% tip. Trim tip etiquette. So, what if you go in for a quick trim? You should still tip at least 20% to a hairstylist who takes a few inches off your hair. Many salons offer free bang trims with your haircut. It's polite to tip for this courtesy. Consider adding $5 to $20 extra to your tip if you get a complimentary bang trim during your next cut. Tip for styling. Getting your hair styled may require a little less skill than a cut or color. But if you're satisfied with the final result, you should still offer at least a 20% tip. In many salons, hairstylists employ assistants for hair washing and other non-technical services. If an assistant shampoos your hair, it's appropriate to tip him or her $2 to $10 on top of the gratuity you give the stylist. Many salon assistants rely on tips for the majority of their salary. Not tipping assistants is not only poor salon etiquette, but it's also inconsiderate of their hard work and dedication. Poor experience. By now, you may be wondering, if I have a poor experience at a salon, can I nix the tip? Unless you asked for 2 inches off your hair and got a shaved head instead, it's always polite to leave a tip. Never tip a hairstylist under 10% of your total bill. Anything less could be insulting and earn you an even worse experience next time you're in for a trim. Fixing a mistake. The only time you shouldn't tip a stylist or hairdresser is if they're fixing a mistake they made. In fact, any stylist worth their stuff will outright refuse a tip when correcting an error they should have gotten right the first time. So, is it bad to not tip your hairdresser? Tipping is always up to you, but best practices are to tip your stylist 20%. Even if you have a disastrous experience, you should still tip 10% unless your stylist is fixing a mistake he or she made. Are you due for a cut or color? Browse our listing to find a salon near you. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.